Well, it was a great day here at Northfield. I said well with the pause because obviously no day can be perfect. I saw the entries for Mohawk Monday and was none too pleased. Let's start with what went on good today. Went with the babies today in sets. Man, I was happy. Some of the horses, I hadn't gone with them maybe even since the first or second time they went. This is so different for me. I guess not that different. There's lots of times last year where Danny or James or Johnny had gone with horses that I had never gone with in a while. It's just so weird getting on a horse and going with them, and you know, you're like, who's this horse again? And obviously I know all the horses, but to look at them, I don't know them yet. Like to walk up and down the shed row and say, that's that one, that's that one. Sure, I know 3rd and 6 with the big white blaze, but to jump on a horse, just a brown horse with random markings, I don't know them yet. So it was so cool to sit behind some of the horses. I spoke to Jason Merriman a little bit today. Daryl was here today going with the horses again. Jason has asked that we... Jason has asked for about a month of just going easy. Now, I see his month of going easy has included yes in the amateurs, and I'm sure there'll be a number of remarks. Listen, at the end of the day, we're just trying to get yes back going good. The one horse Jason actually knows well and gets along really well with is Yes. You know, his qualifier was strong. He's trained him, well, geez, he's trained him for the most part since June of his 2-year-old year. So Jason knows the horse very well. So I was glad. I know a lot of people had said, why isn't Lauren driving? Why isn't Lauren driving? Well, Lauren had her own horse in there also. And, you know, for those of you that are in horse racing, ever have been in horse racing, we're trainers, everybody wants to win a race, right? And in this case, we want to get Yes back going right. And Jason's not going to hurt him. So, I mean, he's not going to drive him in a way to hurt him. And he's already qualified well for him. I think he'll go out and trot 56 for Jason. I think he'd be very, very good in there. So I'm excited to see the race too, probably as much as him. Nobody cheers for everybody in the stable more than me, and I'd love nothing more. As much as I like Lauren, I love Lauren, she's a good girl, I'd love to see Jason go out and win with Yes also, because, you know, it's been literally a millennium since Jason McGinnis won a race. He did drive horses way back when I had first come to Ontario also. Jason was driving a little bit, so he's not foreign to the starting gate for sure. So good luck to Jason, and yes, on, must be Sunday, I guess. Sunday, I'll be in Harrisburg, a big, big week coming up. Man, so the babies this morning, we were going in all the sets, and I'd said to Jason Merriman, not all the pacers are gated up yet, so it's a little sloppy out there. They're flopping around and making breaks, but they've all had the hobbles on. And for the most part, some of them look really good. Arson looks really good. He's just slick as a button. That guy, he's really, really nice. The Cowboy, running a little bit today. He hit the pace towards the end of it. I went with a pacer, didn't pace very much. Still, Michaela. Melanie's Michaela still isn't paced, and you can tell she's trying. She's going to get it, but she's just not there yet. I forget, too, you know, you see horses that got such a strong gait, powerful gait, and then you're like, ugh. You know, and then you see a horse running, like, why can't you do it? It's very difficult sometimes for him to hit the pace, and I remember now, World for Two wears a tight hobble, and he was tough to gate when we first got him also. Maybe, and I say that because she is also a rock and roll dance, so I'm not too concerned with him. Nobody is doing it wrong, even Sweeney, the Uncle Peter that came in late, went in a set today. Joel will be a little surprised to hear that. No shoes on him yet, because he's still a little bit of a goofball, but Barefoot went in a set. Now, these are just jogging sets, but every day I would rather, and this is what I love about going with the babies, go out in the track, and all 5 of us, or in some cases 6 of us, turned the right way, and all the horses behaved. There was no running into the infield or flipping out. They just went about their work properly, and that was such an encouraging sign to me to see the horses do that. So I was very happy. I don't want to drop names and say, oh, this one was awesome or that one was awesome. I was very, very pleased. I'll tell you, a horse that hasn't had a lot of track time because he was a little sick, but looked like a horse that had been going for a month today, was Militant. Very, very happy. We were going at the door, and Jason goes, that guy, he isn't where these guys are. And I said, I'm going to tell you something. I went with him the other day. They might not be where he is. Work-wise, you may be correct, but Militant, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 6-pack, he really somehow muscle mass stamps his horses. You can always tell a muscle mass. You see a muscle mass go by 9 times out of 10, you'd be like, that's clearly a muscle mass. And he stamped himself right through to another generation. The 6-packs look like muscle masses. And that horse Militant was really, really nice today. 3rd and 6, goofing around a little bit. He doesn't want to goof around too much because there's a veterinarian right here. But he wasn't bad or anything, just being stupid. The Chapter 7 guy, too, Blanton's, whatever his name is, he was good today. He also, keeping an eye on Punch the Clock. I'm going to put her in bubble wrap. I had said to Mark the other night, as much as that win helped you, it truly helped me also, because we have the sister to King of the North. Punch the Clock is the half-sister to King of the North. I don't know how that is. He is a, King of the North's a Walner. I made a mistake. King of the North's a Walner, and this horse is by a son of Muscle Hill. No, really, half-sister. I was going to say 3/4, but it's not. It's half. So, we have King of the North's half-sister right here in the barn, man. She's beautiful, too. So, really excited about that. And then, of course, we have Arson's. We have Arson, who's a 3/4 brother to Charleston, who was 2nd in the Breeders' Crown to Sylvia Hanover. Just picked off in the Breeders' Crown final. So, that's cool also. So it's nice to have these storylines going on the track, too, that you're watching. So, a really, really cool day. I love going with the babies, and really, and such a beautiful day. We got here today, and by 10 o'clock, I had to take my spring and fall suit off, put my summer suit on. I'm going to race tonight in the summer suit. There were people qualifying in short sleeve suits here. It was just an absolutely gorgeous day, and that is what we'll talk about next, is what just took place in the afternoon. The qualifiers. Now, I'm looking at the results. It says My Jazz, 2 minutes and 3/5, like 31 and 4. I just took her off the gate to go easy on her because we couldn't go there last week. She was sick. I thought she qualified rather well. Her feet were a little sore afterwards. They were really hot. She was a little tender on the right one, which is the other one. So I just pulled her shoes off. We're going to pulse her. She was supposed to be shod tomorrow anyway. But My Jazz was trotting great. I almost wish we qualified her without hobbles, to be honest. And for that matter, if there happens to be a class at the Meadows that fits her good, here's the problem, right? I forgot how much I loved going with My Jazz. She is push button and just a beautiful filly to drive, mare to drive. But 7 starts this year, 5 wins in 2 seconds, and 30,000 made. There's no walkthroughs for My Jazz this year. There's nowhere to find an easy class for her. So 2 minutes, super, not that helpful. I'd like to see 58, but coming off of having to not enter in the qualifiers, she had a temperature last week and mucus, was picky with her feed for 2 or 3 days. She was sick for 2 or 3 days. So how strong was she today? I was super happy with the way she went. I'm a little surprised to look at the line. 2 minutes and 3/5, 31 and 4. Now they're eyeballing it. I'm not going to say that I was beat 25, that I wasn't beat 25, but I wasn't beat 25. So I thought she went a mile 59. I was happy with her. And then come out the next one, Compass Rose DC. Her blood come back good. Everything looked like it was on the up and up. She should have been able to go in 58 last week. Track was terrible. She never liked the inclement weather. Can't blame her for that. I know other people that hate the inclement weather. But she was going right down to Chinatown today. I wanted Compass Rose DC to do her work day. She's a cheater sometimes, and I think that Jason has sat behind her about 4 or 5 times. I don't think she's ever gone good for him, not one time. She tries to get ahead of you, right? And you have to have her on her toes every second of the race. And if you let her come off her toes onto her heels, you're done. She'll just shut down and you won't get her going again. And I had her on her toes today. She was very, very good, a mile 58. Now, she does fit some things a little cheaper because she didn't have a great run before we stopped with her. But she's fresh, she's sharp, she's sound. She is coming in razor sharp. Where are we going to put Jazz? I don't know yet. Now, that's a little segue to some classification issues we have in Ontario. I just sent an email off, a text message off to the race secretary. So I'm going to start with my take on the whole situation. I told everybody we weren't racing our horses against one another. We entered them in different classes. The race secretary did call and say, hey, I told him to tag White Tiger for 80 if he needed to in the backup class. White Tiger's not going to race in the open. He doesn't want any part of Locatelli. And quite frankly, I'm not sure Locatelli wants any part yet of a few of the other open trotters, like the Logan Parks that raced in the Breeders' Crown. I don't know if he wants to race against those horses. That's a tall order. So fine, we would have raced Locatelli in the Open. Only problem was the Open didn't fill. The only class that could fill near the top, White Tiger didn't need to be in for a tag. Now I know it also saved me from a stern look from my wife as I walked through the door in Ontario tonight. If I had to walk through the door tonight at any point, midnight, 12:30, 12:45, with a tag of white 80,000 on White Tiger, laser beams right to the forehead. She wouldn't have been happy, but I just want the horse. I don't want to have to send White Tiger somewhere. And if he can't do in the Open, how do we consistently make sure he can race in the backup class? It seems like the best way to do it. He's going on 7 years old. He's at his best right now. Will he improve? It's possible. Very possible. But at the same token, we need to race the horses where they can do well every week. But in this case, we didn't have to tag him because it was a ragtag crew, except I'm looking, HP Mama B, who's got 30,000 made last 5, was in there, and they let Renegade Gypsy. It was very kind of them to let the 3-year-old trotter in there. You know, it's almost like Renegade Gypsy. We keep throwing him harder things to do and expect him. This is a tall order. You're asking a 3-year-old trotting colt coming out of the grassroots program in Ontario to race against White Tiger, HP Mama B, Truffles 2, HP Royal Theo, and McCallum. I guess the only saving grace for that argument is that Renegade Gypsy has been bionic his last 4, 5, 6 starts, and maybe it was, well, we could use Renegade Gypsy or we can't go with the class. And really, that's going to be the theme of the day when I'm looking at this card. White Tiger, Renegade Gypsy, and 4 others make up a 6-horse field. I didn't see this. I guarantee you Tony O'Sullivan didn't see this, the race secretary. No entries today on the trot side. And I could, well, I had some calls. I had one very stern conversation back and forth with a very good friend and was irate. We'll talk about that in a second. But had every reason to be. And it wasn't he was irate at me. I will not take any blame for this. I have, Dominic has, Harry has, you know, Mario, everybody that enters the horses is doing so in the proper manner. And the only request I got was a text message from the race office saying, can't get hold of Dominic. Does White Tiger win for the tag? Wait, well, does he have to? No. Well, good. That will save me getting beat up by my wife. So, super. Don't put him in for the tag. At no point did they say, oh, by the way, Renegade Gypsy's in there also. Then I look through the other classes. There's nobody in the non-winners at 5,700, and this is where we're going to have a problem. I just sent a text message off to the race secretary saying Sailor will be scratched on Monday. I'm not racing Sailor in that class, and I know where he was entered. He was entered in the non-winners of 5,000, optional 35 claimer, which is condition number 8. But he came out in the 12,000 claimer, right? And they don't even have the optional claimer on here. The non-winners of 12,000 last 5. So I understand you forced him into a position by taking the condition claimer off of 8. You forced him into the race against, and I might say he has to race against Resolute Bay, but that's not a good thing. Hold on a second. I'm going to tell you why. So we'll go backwards. White Tiger, Renegade Gypsy, fine. Renegade Gypsy's on fire. It's a little unfair to him, but the horse has been overachieving, or at least really coming into his own in the last 4 starts. So, okay, fine. We come back to race 6, and I see Patriarch Hanover, who's raced in the Open all year. Now, he's not sharp right now, but has raced in the Open all year. Durf Hanover, raced in the upper conditions. All wrapped up. Right, and here, I'll just click on the program page, just so I'm completely accurate. Patriarch Hanover is 177,000 made this year, and a mark of 151.4. Now, in fairness to the race office, he's been no good for the most part his last 5-6 starts. By no good, I mean 6 trot, 52-4, 26-3 on the end of it, 53, 27-4, 53-28, and then got away 8th by 14 at the half in the class that I believe Locatelli won in the mud, finished 7th, beat 7. Okay, so he can drop down. Durf Hanover, 8-3-1-2-8-9. This horse has $84,000 made this year, 5 wins, a mark of 152-4, and in fairness, is somewhere around this class. All wrapped up, 105,000 made, mark of 52-4, is a 6-year-old. This horse has been bouncing around this class too, although fourth beat a neck his last start, 54-3. Again, although he's lots of money made and a good mark, he probably is in a bit of a slump right now. You can leave him down there. Resolute Bay, although it's tough to really put him anywhere, the Buggers won 6 in a row. Mark of 53-4 and 112,000 made. Okay, you win. You're gonna have to put him somewhere he belongs in there. Ritson, second and 54. This horse here has had a kind of a poor year. He's right around Sailor's group. Spartan General is not. 99,000 made. This horse raced in the Open many times last winter. So you have a bunch of horses that are in tough. In with, here's Sailor, okay? Sailor raced in the non-winners of 10,000 his last start at odds of 20-1 in that start. 20-1 in that start. And now he's in the numbers of 12,000, so they open it up for somebody. I get what the race office is doing. I understand. I understand that it sucks that you have to patch all these classes together, but I'm not going to eviscerate my horse to do it. I'm not going to eviscerate Sailor to do it. So one way or another, scratched by the race office, scratched, whatever, he's not going on Monday in that class. That's a hard no. Like, I don't mind helping out, but I get it. If we didn't put him in, Resolute Bay doesn't race this week, and the owners of Resolute Bay might be saying, well, that's fair. But it's not, because we have owners of Sailor. Sailor belonged in class number 8. You should have taken Muscle Fashion, Cameron. I guess Cameron can't race because Greek's other horse is in there. Hammer Time. Richard Moreau has 2 horses in the numbers of 5,700. Put one of them in the numbers of 12,000. Not the horse that was entered in Condition 8 and fit it because it had an optional 35,000 claimer on it where Sailor was entered. 35,000 claimer. He's not racing on Monday. But again, I get it. I guess I wouldn't be as angry, and our clients wouldn't be sending me buckets and buckets of angry emails had the race office just called Dominic, texted Dominic, or even called or texted me and said, hey, this is what we're looking to do. Absolutely not. You can take another horse out of there. Fine, Resolute Bay doesn't race this week, but you're not putting Sailor in that class, and he's not going to race in there. I think we have other horses in also. Do we not? Stonebridge Acadi is going to make his debut at Mohawk. He's in a maiden, so whatever. I mean, let me see this class here. It'd be 57, 58, 2-1, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 58, 58, 58, 58. Yeah, it's not a bad class for Stonebridge Acadi. Finished 3rd the other day. Shows broken equipment. I don't know what the broken equipment was. He trotted 2 minutes. He can run the wood. I don't dislike that move. Okay, so we get Stonebridge Acadi in also. And then we have race number 1. Now, somebody had said, Anthony, how the hell's in tough also? No, he's not. He's in the class he won last week. Red Overbach. I had somebody say, why is he in for a claim? Because that's where he belongs. He belongs in that class. He belongs in that class right there. Unfortunately, he can't get in there because Red Overbach, hold. Red Overbach has just 130,000 made, and he also has, he has 5 wins. So, non-winners of 3, non-winners of so much last 3 starts, that doesn't matter, or 40,000 Ontario sired, 60,000 life, also eligible 3 and 4-year-old 50 claimer. This is where LD's Patrick races. I guarantee you, we will have a horse in that claimer every single week, on Thursday and on Monday, every week in there. That's what Red Overbach's worth. Somebody wants to claim him? Claim him. Go ahead. I think the horse is well worth putting in that class. He's a perfect horse. He's coming off an 8th place finish for James, 54-2 in Sailor's class, by the way. The non-winners at 10,000, aged company. And then his last start kind of lost his mind a little bit on Mark in the mud. He's coming in off of that, a 4th place finish in the gold. Then he was 2nd, and he was winning those pop-up races, those grassroots and pop-up starters. But this is a good class for this horse. And by the way, how the hell? Why wouldn't you want him in here? The horse got 49,000 made this year. This is the class he belongs in. He's got 5 wins, but he can race in here for a while. He's a 3-year-old, and I'll tell you what, when he's done getting out of this class on money, guess where he goes? Right in for the claim. That's where he's going to be. We have the right horses. They just aren't filling the right classes. So, cost me a little bit of a headache today. our fair race secretary did, listen, I'm not even that angry at Tony O'Sullivan. The man has got a daunting task. Here, Tony, here's 85 ragtag horses to fill a card that needs what, 100 and some horses. Pick up the phone. Hold on. I know what you're thinking, Anthony. Is this where you're going to go off on a path and say they need to fill this list of horses? That's exactly what they need to do. 100% they need to do it. But they won't do it. So, or they haven't done it. Maybe they're doing it now and they haven't. But I don't envy Tony O'Sullivan at all. I just sent him a message where, at the very least, he feels stupid. At the very most, he's irate at me. And you know what? That's the way it is. You have your job to do, and I have my job to do. My job is to protect the horses, and the clients of the Stable.ca and Racing Sailor in that class is helpful to neither. So I will race White Tiger against Renegade Gypsy, even though it's not super fair to Renegade Gypsy, but he is racing great, so we will race him against one another. All the other horses, they can race against one another. Red Overbach, Resolute Bay, you can race those horses with other horses. But Sailor is not racing in that class on Monday. And as I said, it's not that I'm angry, Tony. I know what he's trying to do, and he can't look out for the best interest of every trainer as he's trying to mesh together this card of racing. And he did a pretty good job, considering when I'm looking at these classes, right? We have an 8-horse field, a 7-horse field, an 8-horse field. One 10-horse field is a maiden trot. Can you imagine? A maiden trot has 10 in it. Then we have 11 in the Harvest Series final, so that's good. Then we're back to 7. The 25 claiming, 22 to 30 claimer is full at 10 horses. Then we have a 7-horse, Nomores of 5,000 trot. Then we have a 6-horse, Nomores of 25,000 trot, and a 10-horse, 15 to 20 claimer on the pace. We need to fill full classes. This isn't Anthony. Listen, fine. You want to let us race in 6-horse fields? Awesome, thanks. It's bad for the track. It's bad for the brand of racing. It's bad for racing. I know that. Tony knows that. The racetrack knows that. Got to make the lists. You got to make the lists. If you know who's in Ontario, you can make a real-time condition sheet, and then you can follow up on those horses. And you won't have a guy like Anthony McDonald making videos on YouTube about how he's going to scratch his horse on Monday. Dominic was the one that called me, and he's 100% right. I told him, I'll send the message to Tony O'Sullivan. You can send a message to Tony O'Sullivan. But at the end of the day, I'm not mad at Tony. I'm just not racing the horse there. So I hope that we can get more horses in Ontario. I hope that we can start filling the box. I don't want to have to start moving horses like Sailor. You know, I've threatened it. I still have the health papers, the shipping papers there. I don't want to have to move Red Overbach or Renegade Gypsy. I like that we can race them in Ontario. It's not like I'm in Ohio right now. I'm getting ready to race Handsome Face. I could bring horses over here, and if I have to, I will. But I'm looking for horses that fit classes here at this track. There's nowhere for us to race Red Overbach at Northfield Park. Just two different condition sheets, 2 different racetracks. So we're looking for Ohio horses, not Ohio sired horses, but Ohio horses that can race in Ohio. But we have to have horses that are going to get in regularly in Ontario. So it's not a rant. I'm not going to leave this and get angry or curse when I hit stop. I'm not. We're going to race a bunch of horses again on Monday. I'm going to be in Harrisburg. So we're going to race Red Overbach against How the Hell. I think they'll do just fine. We're going to race Stonebridge Chicati. We're going to race Resolute Bay. Sailor will not race on Monday. We are going to race White Tiger against Renegade Gypsy. So we have, what, 6 or 7 or 8 horses in again on Monday. So with that, I'll let you guys go. I'm going to go sign in right now. I got a Handsome Face to race in race 4. Hopefully we get him squared away. He did shut his air off last week. It was a breathing problem, so I'm going to be on the lookout for that tonight. I'd like to get him away quiet, let him settle. Little bugger looks to make breaks going to the gate too, so I got to be on my toes for that. First and foremost, make sure he behaves himself going to the gate. Secondly, try to keep him quiet in the race. Thirdly, get a good trip. Fourth, get to the winner's circle. So with that, I'll let you guys go. I'll talk to you all very soon. I've addressed the issues for today. Very happy with the weather, very happy with the babies, very happy with the qualifiers. A little unhappy with the draw, but you know what? You get good horses. They fit a lot of good classes, so that's the issue. Anyway, I will talk to you all soon. Take care. I hope you all had a great day. Bye.